Snarg's Premium Whiskey is proud to present the 10th Street Market Tour starring Joven, with special guest appearances by Death Bits of Wrath, Hour of Devastation, and Hurricane. One night and one night only, the legends reunite for this soon-to-be sold-out charity extravaganza in which bloodlust and chaos are sure to fill night. Let the hairspray and scent of tanned leather flow through your nostrils as you frenzy your way to be one of the lucky ones splashed by the essence of Joven.
But am I ever going to be able to get these tickets on Ticketmaster?
Yes, you can get them on Ticketmaster or at the local venue.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, call. All right. Welcome to Uber Cube, the podcast we discuss all things cute.
I feel like I've got a career waiting for me after this podcast nonsense, which isn't even a career.
But with refreshments.
Yes. Welcome to Jovan, but with refreshments.
The essence of Jovan and has sponsored us. And this is your host, Anthony Adams, a.k.a. Uber Bear. And today we are joined by the lovely, who just got their hair did.
Hi, that's me.
Yes.
That's the mate.
And we
fabulous.
can't tell if another person got their hair did. They're going to have to say it. Tell us, did you get your hair did, Usman?
I did not. I have not gotten my hair did in several years.
Well, I just got my hair did and got my beard did.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like professionally trained?
Yeah. And I got a little
Really?
massage and I got the oil. And,
Oh.
we got the event tomorrow. It's a little dated at this point by the time this episode comes out, but we have Raven Fest in
That's
the morning.
right. Yes.
Where they're collaborating with UberCube. So if you missed it, I'm sorry. You're hearing about it now.
Yes.
It was good.
I'm glad you had a wonderful time.
It was the best Cube event ever. You totally missed it. All right. Usman, welcome back.
Hello.
Hello.
It's been a while.
Usman, you like metal?
I do.
What's your favorite metal bands?
You know, it's kind of hard for me to say. Like lately, Sepultura has been like my metal band du jour.
Great choice.
I'm actually wearing a metal Sepultura. Like, so they were selling a looks like a Brazilian soccer jersey with their band logo.
Sick.
It's like with the yellow and green logo.
How about yourself?
It's pretty.
What you got?
Favorite metal band? Of all time, I would probably have to say Megadeth is probably like my all-time, although recently, and Meshuggah, I got to put Meshuggah up there as well. Recently, actually, I've been getting quite a lot into Sleep Token as well.
I love Sleep Token.
Do love me some Sleep Token as kind of a modern thing. But you know me, I kind of have a bit of a smorgasbord of musical interests. I like a bit of everything. So, but Megadeth for me is
Megadeth, 99 Ways to Die. Oh my God, that song. Yeah. Dude, like every time we deployed, we either play that or Turn the Page, not the Bob Seger version, but the Metallica version. That was kind of our deployment songs, you know. We sneak out some kind of bourbon, sneak out our cigarettes, go hide, everybody cheers before we get on the C5, C-130, take off. And that was kind of our thing. 99 Ways to Die was typically our deployment music. What you got, May? I know you're a huge metal fan. Folk May. Let's go.
I really like things like Apocalyptica. I really like Bullet for My Valentine. I'm trying to think of other ones that I listen to. I just listen to so many artists. Like, to give you some context, last year I listened to 78,000 different artists.
Oh,
Nice.
I only
What?
found that out. Yeah, I know.
Oh my
because the
gosh.
Spotify's rap, whatever, being like, you listen to a lot of different kinds of people.
That's got to be a
across lot of
record.
different genres.
That's gotta be a
I've listened
record.
to a lot of people.
Yeah, like the year before, I think I was in the top Ghost fans of the time, where we had all went and seen Ghost here in Raleigh, which was like one of the sickest concerts I've ever seen. If you haven't seen Ghost or haven't
Love
listened to Ghost, holy shit!
Ghost-
Like,
Oh, they're great. Yeah.
it's just
Actually, the first time I saw Ghost, like I was pretty unfamiliar with their music, but a friend asked me to go. I'm like, all right, sure, I'll do it, and then really was surprised in a good way. Just like how good their music was.
It's very 70s kind of hair vibe, slowed down. It's weird. It's got a cool vibe about it. But before we talk any further, we're going to talk about our drinks, because we seem to forget that a lot lately. Because
We do. We got to get back on track.
And or we're always drinking too soon, and then we talk about our drinks.
That's true.
Stu, kick us off. What are we having for our metal episode?
All right, so I've furnished my good friend Anthony and I with some scotch. It's, I don't know, it's just like a 10-year Speyside, something like that, Speyburn, whatever it is.
Tastes like
Pretty
scotch.
good. But I'm following that up. I've been on a kick recently. Summer is coming with a vengeance here in North Carolina. The pollinating is real.
pollinating.
everything is yellow.
Yeah, my
everything.
Jeep is completely yellow.
So as kind of like my sitting outdoors and hanging out, I've been doing a few of these recently. So I'm drinking a Bold Rock hard cider. It's a blackberry flavor, and it's just the perfect summer drink.
I'm doing a Blue Moon with an orange. I'm feeling quenched. I need to quench. Parched. I'm parched, and I need to quench my parch. May, what you got?
I am having a custom brew tea where it's hibiscus, rose hip, and like a little hint of lavender.
If you're in North Carolina, it would also have pollen, like hints of pollen. What do you got there, Usman?
Water.
Also would have hints
water,
of pollen. I wonder, they talk about microplastics in the news and how much you get in your bloodstream. I wonder how much pollen is currently in our bloodstream right now.
More than
I would want to know.
More than I want.
Macroplastics is the new fad.
Yes.
I'm going to go eat my chair.
Yes. All right, I'm cracking it.
Crack it. All right. So let me ask you a question, Usman. How much does music inspire your cube curation and or your playing of cubes?
I don't know if I'd say much. Like I've always I think I talked about it in our episode where I was first on, kind of talked about how like the DIY ethos of like thrash metal kind of inspired me to just kind of be like, whatever, I'm doing this myself kind of thing. And I don't know if that's like necessarily a metal, music inspiring me, but I would say somewhat. But that's about the extent of it.
I like that.
May, do you ever listen to music while you're, flicking through your cars, trying to decide what your next cube idea is, or you do it pretty...
Yep, all the time.
That's my jam too. Mostly because I have like bees in my ears all the time. I got to hear something. But I do enjoy the background music for inspiration. And if you're wondering why we do this episode, we're being super casual because we do have an event in the morning. But the idea is, how does music kind of flow through you and through your curation? And we're going to talk about some metal cards in particular, because I think some of these, back in the days, and Usman, you've been doing this for a really long time. You remember the concept of signpost, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is a signpost? What is a signpost? What would you define as a signpost?
A card to ignore.
Yep. There you go.
In theory, it's a card supposed to be a way to guide people in draft, but oftentimes I just don't really care.
Like an anchor, though. If you had to call it that, it's an anchor. Like a card that you would then pivot from and begin to build out from, right? And for the longest time, and we'll use like a Ravnica type set, right? Where Ravnica would have very specific signpost cards within their subsets, and you knew what the Golgari did, and you knew what the Rakdos did. And the story was told through the cards. And not just from a mechanical flair, but from the artistic flair as well, too. When we're talking about cards that are super metal, I'm transitioning over to the music meets the cards, and then that card can ground or be the pivot point from your cube concept, right? Would you agree with that? We're going to do some of the, in our opinions, the most metal cards, and how a person listening to this podcast, and this is meant to be fun, it's meant to be casual, but you could kind of spring from this type idea, wellspring from here, and start building out your own metal type cube, your curation.
I would say that certainly in a couple of my cubes where sort of the visual element has been one of the primary deciding factors when it comes to the aesthetics, which may be actually the overall driving factor behind the design of the cube in general. I actually feel like it's relatively straightforward, because then you can take and I'll just pull something random from my Diablo cube. I've got something like Dreadslaver, right? 5 CMC, 3 colors, 2 black. Creature zombie horror. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Dreadslaver this turn dies, return it to the battlefield under your control. That creature is a black zombie in addition to its other types, and it's a 3/5, right? So I've got a very prominent like zombie and undead kind of theme in my Diablo cube. So that to me was like an easy add to the cube because it fits the aesthetic, but it also has the mechanics that kind of fit in with the rest of the cube as well.
So it's an aesthetics meets type music concept.
I'm always trying
whether
for
you
that,
meant to or not, it still happened, right?
Yeah,
So if you bust out the Diablo cube in paper, which you never will do, what would be your soundtrack of choice? What are we opening up with here? What type of music you set in this cube to?
Okay, so I am putting on Matt Uelman's Tristram theme on repeat. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's that only.
Okay.
And if you're not familiar, I'll play it.
From which Diablo?
It's from the original Diablo 1. Yeah, which
Nice.
also made an appearance in Diablo 2. But the original Tristram theme for me, and actually no, there's a couple of themes that I could do. Actually, I could just put all of the Diablo 1 and most of the Diablo 2 music just on a sequence and just play all that.
May, if you were hosting a Fake Cube night, what would be your musical accoutrement?
Usually I go for like something soft like jazz or like maybe some lo-fi, just something like generally kind of mellow. If I really wanted to jump into the thematics, though, I would probably do some more flute or maybe some stuff with the marimbas.
Yeah,
right.
Okay.
Little pan flute.
Yeah, things like that. Like I'm sure that there's some bardcore music somewhere that I could put on.
Yeah,
Bardcore. I like
Bardcore,
that.
is that a thing? That's awesome.
it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing. So you can actually set a tone of your cube night. I know we're bouncing around a little bit, but you can kind of see where we've talked about a lot on the UberCube podcast. In particular, we've talked about, thematic concepts and building a cube, and we've talked about, even at one point, we talked about food pairings and how to respect other people's cubes by your food choices. Don't eat Doritos, these type things, right? We've even talked about...
That's what sleeves are for, okay? People need their Doritos, okay?
Greasy chicken.
Dragon Shields
Cube
and
courtesy.
Ultra Pros, whatever, they were designed to keep that Cheeto dust off your cards, okay?
But I thought it'd be
Nothing
really
else.
fun for us to kind of talk about the most metal cards in this particular, because I think a lot of us like this genre or some branch out of this genre, either if it goes into like, I was asking, I actually just talked to Bones this week. I was in Tulsa. We're playing as a Commander, and I said, Bones, you want to come on Friday? He says, I'm busy. I said, do you like metal? And he said he likes pop rock, if I'm not mistaken. And then we actually started finding some commonality in that music. We went outside the metal and we stepped over into like, he likes Tyler the Creator. He likes Cannon. He likes Tame Impala, which I thought I do too. And there's a certain time and place where you can set a tone to your cube nights by your music accoutrements. If I'm not mistaken, Joe Anderson has talked about this before as well, where you're having a cube night, you got people coming over, and you're setting up your cube, but you can theme your cube night around the type of music where it fits what you're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
Like if you were, say, our good friend Nathan, and you got the Ghostbusters cube. I mean, Ray Parker Stevens, unfortunately, is going to be on repeat Ghostbusters, but there's only so much of Ghostbusters. But you also got Bobby Brown from Ghostbusters 2.
Sure.
Control, or whatever that song was.
Sure.
Yeah, Too Hot to Handle, Too Cold to Hold, called the Ghostbusters, but we're in control. I don't know why I remember that. But music does play a huge part in our cube experience. So let's talk about some cards that are metal. Usman, besides Joven, because definitely he's the most metal Magic card ever made, in my personal opinion. Do you have any cards you think are super metal?
I feel like, because I know there was a big advertising part of Kaldheim. They were like making it metal themed, and I was just like, I don't know if I feel it, but I'm trying to think of like metal cards, like any card with like Slayer, like Slayer of the Unbound or whatever.
I think anything Phyrexian is immediately going to put like Tool imagery in the back of my mind, where it's just like, oh yeah, I'm already watching the music video.
Oh, you're right. Actually, Phyrexian would be like Pucifer. It would be a perfect circle. Oh my god! Yeah,
I was
didn't
gonna
even
say
think about it.
musically, I feel like they would be like Meshuggah, just very like dread and just like mechanical, and it feels like Meshuggah is very Phyrexian theme.
Yeah. Very precise, very powerful, but very, very purposeful.
So, for those that aren't familiar, and this is something we talked about a long time ago,
There it is.
We're going to do it in a minute.
There it is. Was that a Freudian mouse slip right
it
there?
It might have stopped in a certain location. We've got a special guest we've invited back tonight, and we were lucky enough to get one of the greatest bagpipers of all time, Metal AF. Hello.
I'm not doing it again.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
You are so doing it.
No, I'm so not. We'll reference the episode somehow.
Oh, I'm cutting it in. I'm cutting it in. What card do I have?
I think Slappity Ball Piper is pretty metal. And yes, though I did a bit once, as I tend to do on the podcast from time to time, but I did a bit where I talked about did I just read I read the card as well as the flavor text, right?
You did.
And so, but yeah, Slappity Ball Piper is pretty metal. And I think you've got like the sacrifice theme, and then you've got like Cascade. Okay, I don't know how metal you would necessarily say Cascade is, but I think you could also sort of juxtapose metal as like a genre and the emotional attachment and sort of the how you feel about listening to it and the art and all that kind of stuff with some of the mechanics, right? You've got another one right there. I'll read this one. Priest of the Blood Rite, 3 and 2 black. I don't know why that seems to be so common with the cards that we're looking at. Human Cleric, when it enters the battlefield, put a 5/5 black demon creature, a token with flying onto the battlefield, and you lose 2 life each upkeep. I mean, that's pretty... You're losing life. That's metal.
That's metal.
You've got a black demon, 5/5. That's pretty metal.
Mostly metal.
And you've got a priest.
Yeah. I was very specific. So for those that we kind of slipped past here is I built the Munson Cube. It's a Jund-colored cube some time ago. We had our good friend Stephen Conenfall come on, and if you want to hear that episode, it's really fun. We do a little bit of... What song did Stephen sing at the time? Was it Master of Puppets, or what did he do? Can't remember. I'll have to listen to it myself again. It's been a while. I seldom listen to
Just go back through the catalog.
Yeah, I'll
just tell everyone, go back through the catalog.
Reference that. But I built an entire cube around metal because, back to what I said, I was captured by the idea of listening to certain music while sorting through your Magic collection to build a cube. And I don't care what this is, right? Go back to you want to listen to some lo-fi, you want to listen to canon, whatever, right? And suddenly it gives you musical inspiration to start building your cube. But not only that, it provides a later accoutrement to your cube night experience. Say in the case of the FIM, when I've talked about this before, when I rolled it out first time, Usman, for our play group, to check it out, to see where it landed, I had made an entire list of my favorite artists of the time, right? It was like Stevie Nicks, and it was Gwen Stefani, and Aretha Franklin. We never got through that because the games went so lightning fast. I don't think we ever got to Aretha, who is the queen, by the way.
Yes.
But more metal than the rest of these folks. But
Agreed.
but I tried. Back to you, Usman. Aside from the cards that are metal, how has music inspired your cube experience? Like, how has it played a part in the storytelling that you try to do in your cubes?
Yeah, I don't think I would say story-wise it tends to be, like, honestly much. I think it kind of developed, just like I said, the drive for me to kind of do it myself. But I don't know if it really drives, like, the ethos of the cubes that I've developed in and of themselves. I don't think, unfortunately, which just makes me kind of boring.
No, yeah. I think the experience, it doesn't have to be a driver necessarily of the cube itself, but I think even if you're just including it, it doesn't have to be all the time. Just include, like you say, put on a playlist. Like, hey, I've got some songs that I want to listen to right now. They kind of go with the vibe. I don't really need much more than that. I think it's unreasonable to say that every cube is going to have some kind of musical accompaniment or something. Yeah, it's probably not going to unless you're really getting creative like that. But I would think that there are, and I can certainly say for mine that I have very clear visions of how I could put a musical accompaniment to the cubes that I have.
I think that, and I'm going to derail this a bit, but I think that when we're thinking about the thematics of our cubes, and especially when we're taking something like, let's say, well-known, like metal is, right, in terms of an aesthetic, creating the parallels is a fun little experiment, but it's a certain challenge that, like, we as cube curators get to experience by, like, not only, like, searching through a bunch of cards, trying to figure out, like, what kind of cards fit in our aesthetics, what kind of exceptions are we going to make for the sake of gameplay, etc. And all this is to ask the question of, when new sets come out, what are the things that you tend to look for and get most excited for, especially in the context of, like, the Munson Cube? Like, I'd imagine that it's things like, lots of things like demons and whatever, but, like, on, like, a literal level, like, what keeps things, like, let's say, like, the class card Bard. I forgot what it's called. Bard class, I think it's just called.
Yeah, Bard class.
Yeah, Bard class. Yeah.
Right. Where it's just like, this is very literally about music or whatever, but, like, that's not the thematics. It doesn't match what it is, right? Like, where does that line exist for you?
For the Munson Cube in particular, when I'm combing through sets, I mean, the nail's kind of on the head when you're talking about something like Priest of Blood Rite or Doom Whisper or Sin Prodder. It sounds like a band that you would go purchase your tickets and see at Lenovo up the road from here from us. Or I look at it for the art fixtures that I would find on a cover. Or They just so happen to be in this wild looking like Bloodlust Insider here. This card is 1 red, and it's a human warrior. Tap it, target creature gains haste until in turn for a 1/1. It looks like the front man of a band coming out, just full screaming, like Rage of War type of idea, right? And as I kind of push the thematics of this, and we've talked about this cube before, I also look at some of the art to see if it has a direct like comparison to an actual artist that exists in the real world, right? So like Cardigan Intimidator looks like Dave Grohl. I mean, literally, it's Dave Grohl, originally Nirvana, later...
Definitely now, with the facial hair, and he's put on about 40 pounds.
Yeah, the older version of Dave Grohl. Or I've also got Billy from Smashing Pumpkins in the original. I guess it's Rampant Growth. So to answer your question,
You should tell him that. Be like, hey, Billy Corgan, do you know that you look like the art from Rampant Growth from Magic the Gathering?
And just get punched in the face.
See what he says.
So spoiler season's a little different for me to answer your question, man. The longest way ever is it's an album cover, it's an aesthetic, or they're doing that band pose, or it's a name of sounds like it would be the name of either an album or a person. We've even got Amy, we talked about here, from Elves of Deep Shadow. Amy from
Evanescence.
Evanescence.
Yes.
Yeah, Evanescence.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Elves of Deep. Have you ever seen that card before, Usman?
Yeah, it's the OG Elves of Deep Shadow.
It's totally Amy.
That's classic. And then you got Skin Shifter next to it.
Do you know who that looks like?
Yeah, it looks like Eric Idle.
It does not. It looks like literally Gavin from Bush to me.
No, it looks like Eric Idle. I'm telling you right now, it's the absolute spit of Eric Idle. From,
All right. Who's Bone Crusher? Bone Crusher Giant.
Bone Crusher Giant.
Bone Crusher Giant. I got to look for it.
I got to look at this art.
Do you have it in here?
No. Do I?
You don't. Do you have it in the cube at all?
It's in.
Well, they might not be a person. It might be the name of the group. Like if I went and saw, like, I guess was it Young the Giant? Bone Crusher Giant. Oh,
that's definitely Phil Anselmo.
It is.
That's 100%
Yes.
Phil Anselmo.
Yeah. Wow. Never saw that before. Yes, I did that on purpose.
That is Phil Anselmo. 100%. 100%. They've got the rage and him stomping on someone as well, which is like totally a Phil Anselmo kind of thing to do as well. So
we have found music meets thematics through incidental. And this is something that we're having a fun conversation here in this episode, but we're showing how you can just take something it doesn't have to be music. It's just something you're passionate about, and you can springboard from that and then make a piece of art from that. I think the Munson Cube, in my opinion, this is me because I'm the owner, it is a piece of art. I think I get a lot of joy when someone sees something in these art fixtures, like you just saw with Bone Crusher Giant, that I didn't even attend.
We got to keep running with this now, all right? Because now I'm looking at the Magus of the Wheel from Commander 15, and that's, I don't know the guy's name, but that looks like the lead singer from Meshuggah.
You do.
I mean, he's got the bald hair and everything, just needs a baseball cap.
You do.
I think that looks pretty good. What else can we
Murderous
find
Redcap
here?
looks like Fred Durst.
Murderous Redcap looks like... Rakamar.
For context, they're referring to the DCI promo of Murder.
Yes. Yeah.
Looks like Fred Durst.
That's very true.
Don't you want to hate me?
Oh, look at that. Who's that? If you don't get this, I'm going to be... Look at it. Long black hair, very big.
Lou Ferrigno?
No.
Nope, don't got it.
A metal band.
Mm-mm.
Emo metal band.
No, don't look at me.
My Chemical Romance?
No. Any of the actual band members.
Wolf Moon.
Offhand.
I don't know Wolf Moon.
I'm terrible.
Hey,
at
Wolf
names.
Moon.
Mm-mm.
Does typo negative?
Oh, God.
Peter Steele?
Yes, it is. You're
It's
right.
Peter Steele.
Holy
right
cow.
there on Lightning Strike from the
Holy
Secret Lair.
shit.
Yes. I'm telling. Look, I could do this.
We're having
all
too
day.
much fun now, audience. We're going to just sit here. We're not even worried about you guys listening anymore. We're just going to have fun. Usman, find me one. This is fun.
Of cards that could be metal, like artists?
No, yeah, we're looking for depictions of real artists in Magic cards. Sedgemoor Witch, see that?
That is Lady Gaga.
Well, we're looking for metal. How about Darcy Retzky from the Smashing Pumpkins?
Yeah.
I swear there was like an Inquest article where they talked about, like, because I remember they said like Fallen Angel was Madonna. I'm like, maybe, like, I guess, like,
Okay, all right.
See if I can find that article. Good luck finding an Inquest article.
So the real question is, which printing of Fallen Angel? Like just the standard art, 7th edition?
Yeah, the Legends art.
Okay.
I was like, sure, I guess. It seemed like a stretch, but I was like, okay.
We're just being really impromptu here now, having fun. We're not really trying to drive home a point so much as we're showing the fun and the idea of currently Stu perusing through my cube trying to find faces that match artists. And most of it, you know what? So that's part of the joy of actually crafting a cube like this, back to the audience and back to Stu just going to keep perusing, is to find like the Easter eggs within your cube, Usman, right?
Yes.
Like, so as your drafters are drafting, even if you didn't intend for this to happen, there is a certain amount of joy that a cube curator can get when they go, oh, did you realize this card looks like XYZ, right? That's cool as hell. And I may have done this to a certain amount of intent, but metal in music and intertwining, or metal in cube and intertwining music into cube, I think has, for me personally, part of the artistry of building a cube, and I think it's important. It is one of my major inspirations. If I have writer's block while drafting a cube or building out the first list, or I don't know what to do, I'll go pop in, put on a record on my turntable, listen to whatever I want. As you mentioned, like Typo Negative, I put that on often. Or I'll put in, like I said, Stevie Nicks. I actually put in Stevie Nicks quite often when I'm sorting through. I've got the Rumors album, and I'll put that in while tonight I'm doing the Ravenfest thing, and the Fem Cube is kind of like an extra cube that might be on standby for tomorrow. But I'm going to listen to Rumors while I'm sitting there sorting through it. And it gives me inspiration, and it helps kind of unlock ideas about cards. There's a lot of value to this, I think, in the peaceful nature of listening to music, no matter how metal it is or not metal, in drafting a cube.
Well, I think so. Yeah, we're talking about predominantly the musical inspiration for the cube, the aesthetics, the mechanics. Even if you want to go that deep into it, sometimes it could just be simply as simple as I enjoy the mindset that a certain type of music puts me into when I'm trying to, I think about. I want to make the most combo-centric, incredibly complicated cube that I possibly can. And then, so I'm looking for music, like what music will make me cry? Like, that's what I'm thinking of. I want to cry. I want my players to look at the cards and just burst into tears because they're like, how on earth does this cube function? This is ridiculous. Where are all these combos? And I want music that's going to make me emotional.
He ain't heavy. He's my brother.
You see, something like that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, you put that on while they're sifting
actually, when people
through-
see my magic cards, I would be snotting all over the place. Yeah, let's not do that.
That's the experience that I'm going for. Crying players, boxes of tissues at all around the table. Good luck with this cube.
So, Usman, ask us some questions. I'm dying on the inside here.
Oh,
He's not the host. What are you doing? Come on now.
Usman, you're the host.
Usman, well done. You've been promoted to host.
I was about to say, I'm the host now.
Congratulations.
I posted the Inquest article, by the way. It's on archive.org. Article, the third volume. And I think that one seems to talk about like celebrities. So it's like Madonna was, I guess, the only musical artist. But for some reason, I remembered that one. But it was just like, Mihai Jin is Rocky Balboa. I'm like, sure, I guess.
Sure. Oh, I see some of them.
Well,
that's wild.
Yeah.
To kind of get a little bit of control of the steering wheel here, one of the interesting things about the Munson Cube is that you made the decision as the curator to restrict it to Jund. And a big part of that is, are there ever cards that come up in other colors that have made you seriously consider breaking that color restriction?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Stu pulled one up a few minutes ago. Incidentally, was that the Diablo cube that you had up with the blue thing?
It was. I cannot believe they did. Look,
I just closed it.
I was born in 1979, and I cannot believe they did my girl Pam Anderson like
I saw that too.
with Infernal Medusa. I mean, as appropriate as it might be, that whoever did this, this is absolutely fantastic, though.
Back to May's question, though, she was asking about, do I look to expand? We were actually coincidentally, let's go to the Diablo Cube for a second. And we were talking about this. I closed it out on you. So you were asking, and there was a card, we were kind of talking about this, and this was back to our Pucifer Perfect Circle type of vibe we're talking about. Stu tripped across the card. I don't know why it's in here. It's interesting. It's called the Enigma Jewel, and this art is wild. What's this from the Ixalan set? So it's got
Lost Caverns. Yeah, Lost
so it's got that
Caverns of Ixalan.
Aztecian type of monolith art. It's wild. Look, I mean, this was an album cover that you would see literally for a Perfect Circle or Tool. I can think of others, but it'd be more of that deep undercut type of that grindy, gritty, slowed down, probably acid tripping type of, we'll call it metal, but we're going more towards alternative in my opinion. The Enigma Jewel for 1 blue, you get a legendary artifact. The Enigma Jewel enters the battlefield tapped. It does a whole bunch of stuff, taps for mana, but this art, pull up the Enigma Jewel, May. Check this card out. The Enigma Jewel. To answer your question, yes, if I were going to go outside, the metal cards are expansive. The musical inspirations and album covers, yeah, they go way outside of Jund. It's just something about Jund and the pacing of Jund fits that thrash metal, that speed metal, that, what am I looking for? Angry folk metal or any of these type metals where I leaned into that idea, not to overly focus on the Munson Cube, but something about Jund and those colors really play into that, I don't know, screaming, you know what I mean, right? The drummer going insane, that everybody goes, the drummer goes solo inside the cage, and everybody, the audience is going insane. They get that just the 15 minutes of insane hits that you get for a few minutes. That is what Jund does.
It's the emotional response, and I'll tell you why I chose this. Right, I actually chose this card because Enigma is in the name, and that's like an iconic Diablo rune word for any like
didn't they sing
nerds
that?
out there.
Who could say what you
Orinoco Flow?
Yeah,
That's Enya.
It's Enya.
But nice try. And I love, like, this is a big part of the emotional and artistic sort of element, I think, to music as well. And it doesn't even just have to be restricted to music, right? Album covers, we've talked about that. But also, you look at art that is on movie posters and movie VHS covers over the years, right?
Yeah.
You think about, I remember looking at movie posters and VHS covers thinking, man, that's a weird, like, what they've done to that photo when I was young. And I realized later in life, when I started to really get into a bit more of like indie films and stuff like that, like, no, they had these really unbelievably talented artists, visual artists, that were painting, and you've got this visualization of a theme within a movie, and then, you know, paintings of each of the actors or actresses that are in the movie. And that was like a big part of the promotional element, and there's a huge collectible element about it as well, which obviously kind of fits into Magic as well. So this card kind of, it's such the crazy art. Like, I cannot imagine the creative visual brain of someone that would design and come up with something like that. It's just so far out of my wheelhouse, but it's something that I think is so cool when I see on a Magic card.
I can't believe you actually knew that I was singing Enya with that really bad. Who could say? Keep going. But that's really good.
Can I
name that?
I
can name that
There's
tune.
not many songs that go. You know, if you'd just gone ooh and been metal, I would have been like, yeah, I got no idea. But that one's kind of unmistakable.
Like, oh, okay, it's that one.
Usman, what you got?
Oh, I don't know. It's like, so I was thinking like an issue with maybe white cards is just like the only metal genres you really have are just like, you know, like power metal, or you only have a few genres to really work with that. I think cards, unfortunately.
I think like the Fallout series kind of pulled in some white cards, and so did like what was it, the 40K pulled in some white cards. I mean, it depends. Like, let me ask you a question. When I keep saying metal and I keep focusing on this type of art, and Stu just pulled one up right there. Pull that one up again. I want to talk about this card and have them pull it up because you found one. I keep forcing, like,
this is metal,
people in suits that are armored, and I'm like forcing this like visual aesthetic, if I will, right, in this conversation. But Stu just kind of came across the card. I'd like for you guys, all of you, to pull up, except for Stu, who has it right here in front of me, the card Path of Peace. Pull this card up.
I could just post a picture in the chat.
Yeah, I know, but it's part of the fun pretend for the audience, so we're actually doing that.
Well, I guess which art? Because there's several.
This one,
the 25, the Magic 25,
the Masters 25.
Yeah, Masters 25.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think it's art. It's cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hit you with the hot take. I think that picking like a thematic lane for some of these colors may help flesh out the identity a bit more. So for example, when I think of like how white would be metal, I'm going to bring back the Phyrexian thing. I'm not leaving the Phyrexian thing.
Nope.
Like the way that like they made a lot of the white Phyrexian cards, like there's like lots of fleshy bits and like a bit of metal like on the occasional parts of it. It is extremely metal feeling, right? Like if you look at like let's say Beliska Shepherd, for example, or like Chancellor of Annex, right? That's pretty hard to argue of not being metal.
Chancellor of the Annex is about as metal as it gets. That's and a fun card as well.
Yeah,
right. Introduce
like
you something cool.
Are like firm planted in that zone that you're wanting to be in for white.
So to not actually push this episode to its limits of us naming all the cards in the borderline infinite / 35K version of Magic
that
cards
would be a while
that everybody could subjectively define as metal. We could keep going because Stu's pulling up more. I mean, it's never ending. Even in the white section, what's this card?
Animal Boneyard.
Animal Boneyard. That's a metal. Literally, you would see that on an album cover in a heartbeat. So back to May's question, can it go outside of John? The answer is yes, right? And we're not overly focusing on metal so much as about, I really don't know what we're focusing on. It's the intertwining of music, hits thematics, hits the art representation, and how it flows. And then even during this little tiny episode we did, was really neat to see that people pulled something out of Bone Crusher that I wasn't seeing. I just saw Bone Crusher as a name, Bone Crusher Giant in particular, as a name that sounded metal AF.
But it's Phil Anselmo.
But then you saw something in it. And I think there's an Easter egg or something really cool that maybe you don't do through intent as a designer. It just happens. It coalesces. Is that possible, Usman? That a happy little accident occurs? Very Bob Ross there, but what do you think?
Sometimes good. Yeah. I mean, I think it's very interesting, like, how metal has like a certain ethos and vibe to it, like especially with like certain subgenres. But it's like you can look at like something like Path of Peace. It's like, yeah, that looks like an album cover.
Oh,
that
dude,
totally could.
I would buy it.
Even if like
yeah.
Even if thematically, I wouldn't think of it as like a metal card itself.
Now that'd probably be for like the Cars or Asia.
Yeah.
Listen, as unhinged as this can get on a Friday when everyone's been working or doing whatever.
Oh, yeah.
If you want, we can just completely pivot to how underutilized. We can do this again because we did it recently. How underutilized sorcery speed removal is.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm a big sorcery speed removal fan.
Let's give Stu 5 minutes for this rant. Go ahead. What do you got?
And so here's what's great about sorcery speed removal. Thanks. Yeah, did you edit that out like I asked? Thanks, Anthony. Okay, so yeah, that's why it's great.
Well, thanks for coming and seeing Joven live in concert at the 10th Street Market Tour. This is Anthony Adams. All proceeds will go to spaying and neuter your pets. I don't know what actually we're going to donate to, but we're definitely spaying and neutering.
Is that not enough?
Very Bob Barker.
Is that not
Bob
enough?
Barker. Yeah, Bob. Help me out in time.
Bob Barker.
Roof.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I hope this episode has been confusing as hell. I have one more interesting. If you guys
I was going to say, I think the word you're looking for is unlistenable.
Yeah,
but,
unlistenable. I'll make it to the magic of editing. I will fix this thing. All right. Stu, take us to the socials.
I don't feel like we talked enough about Duskmorn.
All right. As always, if you want to get in on the discussion, Anthony, what are we looking at on the facebook.com/groups/MTG Cube group?
Over 1,400 now. Since
1,400?
Every week it's getting insane.
As always, to our Patreons, to David Wilsey, to Chris Fitzgerald, Timber Dragon, Brian Christensen, Keaton Schultz, Lord Justice, Preston, Sam McKenna, and Jeff Stumpo. Huge thanks to all of you guys for the ongoing support, helping us keep the lights on here at UberCube. If you want to get in on the conversation, hit us up at Bluesky, ubercubemtgpodcast.bsky.social, or at Twitter at ubercubemtgpod. Follow us on YouTube, ubercubemtg podcast 747. If you got a longer question or comment about this episode or anything else, Cube in general, hit us up, ubercubemtgpodcast@gmail.com. Again, big thanks to all of our patrons, patreon.com/ubercube. Much love.
And other than that, happy cubing.